had a book he would hold with pride, a little red cover with a broken spine on the back. He hand wrote a quote inside: when the rich wage war, it's the poor who die. Meanwhile, their leader just talks away, stuttering and mumbling for nightly news to replay. The rest of the world watching at the end of the day, both scared and angry, like, what did he say?
Hey YouTube, this is James from Team Collection. For those of you that don't know, this is going to be a re-upload of my Lightsworn deck profile for the September 2013 ban list or whatever. I don't even know what year it is, you guys. But it's just because the quality was really bad and I invested in a video camera so I could give you guys high quality videos. So here it is. So as is expected, you know, you still have your triple JD. I mean, he's your beater, summon him, nuke failed. Don't really know what to say. Just I run triple JD. I also run double Lumina, pretty much for the Exceed plays. That's why she's so popular right now. But just the fact that you can pitch another Lumina or something off of her, and that's an instant rank 3. So she's pretty good in that respect. I also run 2 Lilas. The only reason why I run 2 rather than 3 is you don't really need to pop that much back row right now. Maybe a Ravine or something, but I mean, it's dragons, it's really pointless. But 2 Lila, you know, just for that reason. Yep, I also run 2 Raikou. In my opinion, you guys, Raikou's really good, partially because people like forgot about Lightsworn. So when you set a monster, they generally think, oh, you must have opened up crappy. And then they hit a Raikou, and it's like, oh, well, I just lost a monster that I could have exceeded with or something. It's just really silly, so I like running the Raikou, because people forget that Raikou exists. For the one-ofs, you know, the typical warrior brigade, you know, the Gareth, the Jane, and the Aaron, they all have their purposes. Obviously, Gareth serves as a draw engine / more milling. Jane gets over those 1900, 1950 beaters, and Aaron she pretty much secures the game in your favor when your opponent starts to get in that setting mode and you just don't have the JD yet. And the last Lightsworn, you guys, it's pretty obvious, is Celestia. I only run Celestia at 1, and the reason for that is she requires a tribute summon, and it has to be a Lightsworn to get her effect off. But when I do get her effect off, it does work, so I just keep her at 1 for that reason. To finish up the lights, you guys, obviously it's a light-based deck, so you gotta run Honest. I mean, if you're not running Honest and Lightsworns, I really don't know what to tell you. And BLS, of course, is just an amazing card, and he's just like JD. He doesn't really require an explanation per se. On to the Darks. It's pretty much expected, you know, to run the triple Necrogardna. He's just pretty much a negate attack for the turn, and you just mail him to your grave or pitch him for Lumina. He's just really versatile. You also run 1 Plague. Same reason as Necrogardna. You can pitch him, you can mail him, and he still is usable. He opens up synchro plays. Just really good card. Also, hand traps. I run 1 Trag and 1 Gorse. The reason why I only run 1 Trag is, quite frankly, I didn't really have room, and I know people can say, well, it's Lightsworn, you can add room. Like, you're going to mill it anyways. I've just never really been a fan of 2 Trags, per se, so I just run 1 and 1. That's just my personal thing. You guys can run 1 and 2, or some other variant. On to my own personal text for the deck. I run 2 Debris Dragon. This will have its explanation shortly. But aside from that, you guys have seen Raikou, which allowed me to go into a synchro to a 6. So as I said, I run Debris, and they work great with my card troopers because I can summon them off of Debris in the grave, and milling for trooper cost. Sure, he doesn't gain the boost, but you can just synchro 7 into Black Rose and nuke field. I also run the generic plant engine, which consists of a Lone Fire, Dandy, and a Spore. Needless to say, these also don't require any explanations. They literally just open up synchro plays, and they're really good for that because people forget that Lightsworns, you know, abuse the graveyard, or they can at least. Spells, 1 charge. It's Lightsworn's Rhoda. You gotta run it. Then of course you have triple Solar Recharge. This is the draw engine of the deck. and it gets your mills going also. There really is no explanation. MSTs still don't require an explanation. You just, pop back row and chain it to the ravine. It slows down dragons, kind of. I do run one Dark Hole. People say that this card's bad. I'm sorry, you guys, but this card, in my opinion, still clears field. It still does what it says on the text, so to me, that's a good card. I also run one Foolish and one for one. Foolish sets up that graveyard if you need that one last Lightsworn monster, sets up plant plays. 1 for 1, obviously, pitch Dandelion, Special Summon Spore, or something like that, and opens up so many synchro plays. For traps, you guys, I run 2 Decree. I know traps aren't too prevalent right now, but Decree does open up me to swing for heavy amounts of damage and not have to worry about the return from a different dimension bull crap. I also run 2 Beckonings. Beckoning, we all know what it's for, you guys. Come on, you mill something that you don't want. Beckoning will get it back for you. And lastly, 1 Breakthrough. And this is pretty self-explanatory too. Just effects are bad when your opponent's using them, so you might as well only get them. For the extra deck, you guys, I'm sorry if I'm expediting this. I know you guys don't like having to watch like 10-minute videos. So, extra deck, you guys. Formula, obviously, 1 for 1, pitch Dandy, Special Summon Spore, Fluff Tokens, gives you a formula. There's many other ways to get out formula too, but they do always involve a Dandelion and a Spore. So, Allied Justice Cataster, just really good card, especially for those dark-based decks, obviously. Oh, not dark-based decks, what the hell am I saying? Any deck, pretty much, it's just really versatile against. Armades is just really good also for the fact that all the effects that activate when they're destroyed via, such as Mermail, Abyssland, Anima Dolce, effects that, like DD Warrior Lady, etc., are just really, really good. And also, just, like, generic trap cards, like D-Prism, Mirror Force, Armades says, screw that, you can't touch me. TG Hyper Librarian, this deck can go Quasar, you guys. I don't have Quasar in the extra deck, though, because it is increasingly, it's really rare, you guys. But just the fact that I can, not to mention there are still decks out there that do Synchro, especially with the comeback of Synchro, so Librarian's a very viable card. Iron Chain for the Debris into Raikou plays, Gaia Knight for the other Synchro plays that want to go into a 6, Black Rose, there's many ways, but they almost 9 times out of 10 involve a Debris Dragon. Stardust, that's pretty staple. Crimson Blader is also pretty staple right now. I do run a Shooting Star because I run Stardust and a formula, and yes, I can go into this first turn actually. Zenmane's obvious. Levier gets me back my banished cards. Almost all my banished or cards that will be banished are level 4 or lower, so it's really good. Legasto Emerald just recycles cards. It's essentially another Beckoning Light. And Level All Chain sets up Grave. And My Stroke is just a wall and gets over effects. So thanks for watching, you guys. As always, hopefully this video turns out to better quality, and comment, like, and subscribe.